Hello and welcome to what is episode 4 of the Epiphany series. Before we get on to that, I'd like to go over something I think I forgot to mention in the previous video, and that is about the word elixir. It's in one of the final lines from It's a Mystery. It can lift you to the heavens, put your troubles in the past, whisper the elixir, then vanish in a blast. So what is the elixir? Well, if we break it down, it consists of 3 parts. You have the L, the EL, then you have the IXI, and then you have the letter R or Ra. So on the one side you have the L, on the other side you have the Ra. The balance between the two is the IXI. I refer you to True Love channel, where she has spoken many times about finding the IXXI, which in Roman numerals is 9 and 11. But the X marks the spot. When the 2 X's are combined, it's referenced in the biblical passage about let thine eye be singular and filled with light. So the 2 eyes represent the 2 pillars, or the number 11. The X is when you're seeing things with the mind's eye as opposed to the 2 physical eyes. The X is referencing about closing the eyes. So we now move on to the second song, and it's one that very much resonates because to me it is describing this arrival of Junus. It's another song by Toyah called Angel and Me. Incidentally, the It's a Mystery song comes from an album called Anthem. This song, Angel and Me, The Pact and Brave New World, all come from the follow-up album, which is called The Changeling. There's no coincidences to anything in this reality. There's a playlist talking about the actual word coincidence, which I refer you to understand what a coincidence actually is. So, Angel and Me by Toyah. I knock the telephone from the table, and the room starts to purr. I splash the contents from a drawer. A photo mid-air starts to twirl. It falls. Now I should point out I'm using the official video that goes with this song, which I'll put a link in the description. There is a discrepancy in what is sung and what is actually shown on screen. So where it says a photo mid-air starts to twirl, it sounds more like what is actually sung is stops to twirl and it falls. But in that is the duality. It's almost, you could say, like a Mandela effect between the official lyrics and what is sung. This happens again further in this song as well. So whether the photo starts to twirl or stops to twirl, it still falls. It's referencing the beginning with the stop and the start of something new with the word starts. So if we just break down this first verse, I knock the telephone from the table. So if you internalize that, the telephone represents communication, a going inwards. The table represents when things seem fairly even. The room starts to purr. That's referencing vibration. That's referencing when you're picking up on something unworldly, shall we say. I splash the contents from a drawer. That is, the drawer represents the physical body, what you draw out of yourself, what comes out. A photo mid-air starts or stops to twirl. A photo captures an image, and it really does. It captures more than just the visual. It does capture something of the essence of your energy, and it's not restricted to the time that the photograph is taken. It will reveal the current energy. Sorry about that. So the next verse is, why do you always cry when you come to see me? I always die to see you smile. You see, I have a secret. That's why I always smile. So this is from the context of a deity. Why do you always cry when you come to see me? Why do you always come to see me when you have complaints about life, about this reality? This is wrong, that is wrong. I always die to see you smile. It's a saddening of you're a co-creator, and yet it's a sadness that the individual that is complaining can't find that joy within inside themselves. Then it's followed up with the last two lines. You see, I have a secret. That's why I always smile. Then the third verse. Yes, I know the window's dirty, and I've noticed that all the plants are dead. Why don't you ever hear a single word I say? I've been trying to tell you, she's on her way. Now it says in this third verse, yes, I know the window's dirty. It's plural. It's talking about these two eyes, your physical eyes where you see the outside world. And I've noticed that all the plants are dead. That's basically referring to what Rudolf Steiner says, that green is the lifeless image of the living. So it would be quite correct to say, I've noticed that all the plants are dead, because you are seeing the lifeless image of the living. It's when you go beyond that superficial level of just seeing, oh, it's the colour green. It's permeating that deeper level of what is behind the colour green that we see as green with the physical eyes. Then the song announces who this she is that's on her way. It's angel, which is an angle of light. So on to the fourth verse. I want to introduce you to someone you've never met before. And you can see she's very special to me. Sorry, it's as you can see, she's very special to me. She stretches the skin of her silvery wings, puts her hands through the bars to me. So this is something supernatural, shall we say, that is coming through. So the hands reaching through the bars are that reaching out, trying to connect with you. She steps through the wall as if it's a door. Well, this is verse 5, by the way. She steps through the wall as if it's a door. A door is, as I've said before, number 4 is the door. And I rise from the floor as I did before. So it's talking about a resurrection. It's something that has already happened. And then it does almost a repeat of the first verse. I knock the phone from the table and the room starts purring. Again, a reference to vibration. Smash the contents from a drawer. So that's the letting go of everything you thought was real. And the photo starts twirling. Now it doesn't say anything about it falling this time. Now the interesting, it now repeats, it's the angel, it's the angel, it's the angel and me. So it's repeated 3 times because it's talking about your 3 non-physical bodies, your etheric or life body, your astral body, and your id, your ego or your I organization. So verse 6, I push the blade into your eye, break the bars, watch you cry, set yourself free, it's the angel and me, and me. I push the blade into your eye. It's referring to the mind's eye. It's basically playing the part of the Grim Reaper, which will cut you from the top of your head to the base of your spine, looking for that oyster pearl, that seed of light inside you. Break the bars, watch you cry, set yourself free. So this is releasing the essence of you inside. I run in the wind, I run to the river, there's blood on me. It's your memory, but it sounds like in this line it's sung as it's her memory. This is when we refuse to accept it. We basically kill the angel inside of us that has our higher self, effectively. Then it repeats 3 times. It's the smile of, it's the smile of, it's the smile of insanity. I told you I'd lost my mind. So it's repeating, it's the smile of 3 times. Again, it's referring to those 3 non-physical bodies that make up you, which you have actually 4 bodies. See, there's the number 4 referenced again. The insanity, we need to break that word down. So it's in, and it's sane, and it's an I, and what it's tied to. So the insanity is not in the accepted sense of being absolutely crazy, although the world will see you as crazy. So the last verse, you fall to the floor as my fist hits your jaw, but I don't cry, I don't cry, I don't cry, I don't care. Again, referencing those 3 bodies. The fist that hits the jaw is referring to when you have that internalization and it rocks your entire world. Then it repeats, get your hands off of me, get your hands off of me, get your hands off of me. Again, 3 times. And then there's a question, can't you see she's come for me? It's the angel, it's the angel, it's the angel and me. So very much this song has resonated because to me this is describing this arrival of Junus, this new sun or star that is all around us and yet can't be seen, and also within us. It is in everything. It is all part of a divine plan. So I find my piece of paper here. What have I done with it? I've done a little drawing, and would you believe I can't find it? One moment, I'll pause this. Right, we're back. The piece of paper had actually fallen on the floor. So I'm sure you have all seen the 3 crosses. Excuse my poor drawing there. You've got the mutable cross, the fixed cross, and the cardinal cross. So you have 3. So what happens when you put 3 into 1, when you merge these 3 crosses? I would suggest you would come up with this symbol, which is far more than it would first appear. You can probably see it's like a tripod with a diamond on top, or if you were looking at the Great Pyramid of Giza from above, you would have that same shape. I've put a dotted circle around it because it encompasses so much. You'll notice there are two sort of points on it. It resembles the Kabbalah as well. But there's another symbol that's encoded in this combined symbol. It has two sort of main points, because it is the coming together of spirit and matter, a higher self, or this Junus within one as much as it is outside. So effectively it is also showing this symbol, you being the point, and you could see this as your limit of your five senses in the external, which would be a circle all around you, whether it be sight, sound, or whatever. So it incorporates that in that same symbol. So this song very much resonates. Let's go back over the... Yeah, it says, can't you see? That's the key question in this song. Interesting as well. I run in the wind, I run to the river, there's blood on me. It says either it's your memory or it's her memory. So there's a letting go of memory, and this is something I have experienced, in that through penetrating through the mind, through what is beyond the sky, you enter into a kind of mist. And you enter into the mystery. And through that process, it is a kind of living death in which you will lose some of yourself. But at the same time, there is no loss of identity. The physical being will still look exactly the same. But internally, the structure is now very different. So I'll put the link in the description for the song, and all the contact details are there if you wish to contact me. This is going to seem like a very difficult time. Effectively, Junus is... It works on the same system as a pyramid structure to corporations. So you'll have a president, and then you'll have a board of directors, then you'll have managers, different levels of management, which there's greater numbers the further you come down that pyramid. So you could see this as, if you want to call it God or the Oversoul, has delegated down through Jupiter and through Venus the coming together of an alchemical or an astral union of two. Incidentally, if any of you have a greater knowledge of astrology, if you could let me know when Venus and Jupiter have come in conjunction or close together recently, I suspect that will reveal a lot more as well. I keep meaning to look back at videos and trying to establish this, but so far life gets in the way, as it were, shall we say. So let's go back to the song. Is there any more I wish to say about this? I think that concludes that anyway. But if we turn to this symbol, which is the sepulchre, which is the dot in the circle, you have in this reality what many will call the demiurge. I've already covered this on video. Demi means semi, and the urge. So it's a half urge. Therefore, it is half-hearted. It is not putting heart and soul totally into it. And of course, where there is something divine, if there is an aspect that would be trying to set itself up to impersonate it, it will follow the same pattern. So we could put this in terms of the devil. So what exactly is the devil? Because it is doing exactly the same thing. It is everywhere, and yet it is also inside us as well. It is represented as a goat and with the horns, but if you think about it, it's representing the letter V, which represents 5 in Roman numerals, which alludes to your 5 senses. It is also, through that symbol, it is a downward pull, or it is pointing downwards. It is closely related to the symbol for the letter Y, but the Y, the 2 points come together and continue down in a straight line. That would be your rock bottom, where you find your cornerstone. So the role of the devil, if you wish to call it that, if we break down devil, remember that this is a mirrored reality, so you need to swap the vowels. So it's dive. It's inviting you to dive in to find L inside yourself. It's also dividing you. The devil will try and pull you down. A prime example of this would be depression. And this devil will keep luring you, keep tempting you. It will keep bringing things up that's why you're in that depression, the things that are going to keep going round and round in your mind. Excuse me. So this devil, what is it actually doing? It's playing a vital role when you recognize it for what it is. The theme is about unconditional love. So I would suggest, now this is going to be blasphemy to most Christians, if there are any actually listening here, love your devil. Why do I say that? Because that devil inside you, when you recognize it for what it is and what it is really trying to do, it is a necessary step, the same as Judas in the Jesus story, the same as Eve listening to the serpent, the same as Lilith standing her ground and saying, no, I will not be subservient to Adam. It's the same character, the same story basically. It's trying to pull you down to that point of rock bottom where you say enough is enough. For example, if you are suffering with depression, this is something I've gone through, so I'm talking through personal experience. There comes a point when you say to yourself, do I want to spend the rest of my life feeling like this? And I think most of you would say the answer is no. But of course, it's then how do you pull yourself out of that? So this is why I've said on several videos, and it's in this description, if you are struggling in any way, mentally or physically, with what is going on in this world, if life is not how you wish it to be, and maybe you have depression, that is the body telling. It is trying to get you to a point of deep rest. This is why the physical body doesn't feel like doing anything when you have depression, and the mind is going into like a hermit mode and doesn't want to come out of it. But it's not a place to dwell for long. It doesn't need to be a place to dwell for long. It is an experience to go through. That devil will pull you down and bring up unpleasant things, but it is your greatest friend. So surely, would it not be unconditional love to love your devil when you recognize it for what it is and what it is trying to do and how it is actually your greatest benefit? And by extension of that, if you reflect upon your life, consider all those people you would have seen as adversaries, as your enemy, as it were, how they have actually been your greatest teacher, because that is an external reflection of that devil that is in all of us and it is all around us. It is a part of us. It is not something to be killed. That would surely go against the entire idea of unconditional love, because if it is unconditional, that wouldn't be setting a condition, oh, I will love everything except this devil. But it is not a real thing, although there is a potential to make it into a real thing. Certainly it looks to be so in the outside world, especially when you look at some of these opening ceremonies for major things like Olympic Games. It's like, who on earth came up with this, and what is it really trying to, what message is it really saying to us? Because there's always deeper levels. You can look at it as pure entertainment. You can start looking at the deeper meaning and think, oh, that's really unpleasant. But if you go the next stage beyond that, it reveals a picture of how it is all helping you. So look at anything in the external, all these, I'm trying to think of a word for it, all these things that are enacted by governments, they are just twisted messages that actually contain a truth that is of the greatest benefit to you. So you could even extend love your enemy to every politician, every public figure that you would perceive as working against you, because they are playing a role on this world stage for you to find it within inside yourself, for you to find that unconditional love which this angel brings. Now, I'm not the only person that has seen Junus in this form from a conversation I had the other day, which is nice to know. Because I don't feel that Junus would solely convey messages through this physical being. There will be others. It stands to reason that there will be others, because ultimately we are all one. It just comes down to that individual life path and sets of circumstances, and I feel grateful that it's pretty much answered what is my role here, what is my mission in this reality, and this, I feel, is very much a part of it. And as a part of that is trying to, it's basically a reverse or an inverse story of the Titanic, whereas in that story the ship hits the iceberg and there's not enough lifeboats. This is the opposite. This is plain sailing, and there are sufficient lifeboats to help pull you up, rather than you being in that ice cold water and pulling the helper downwards. But it's not going to help either of you. So that's very much what is being played out in this reality, and what is being shown in so much. Again, I will refer you to True Love Channel if you want to see it from the perspective of film breakdowns. I seem to have found myself where I'm doing breakdowns of song lyrics. But consider also with song lyrics why songs will repeat the chorus line many times at the end of a song. It is a kind of mantra. It is trying to inspire you through those words, through that music. So we'll leave that there. I hope that has helped brought a little bit more clarity to your life in understanding who you are, what your component parts are, and help you to navigate your way through this reality. So I'm going to end there and say love to you all until the next episode, where we will discuss part 3, which is the song called The Pact by Toyah.